most dangerous move you'll ever make is the one nobody saw coming. Not because secrecy is a strategy, not because silence is a weapon, but because the moment you stop announcing your plans to everyone around you, something shifts, something quiet, something powerful, something that most people spend their entire lives never discovering. Your energy stops leaking, and everything you were trying to build starts actually getting built. Most people do not understand why they keep starting things and never finishing them. They blame discipline, they blame motivation, they blame circumstances. But the real reason, the reason nobody talks about, is simpler and more devastating than any of those. They told someone. They shared the plan before it was real. They announced the goal before it was achieved. They described the vision before it existed. And in doing so, they released something they needed to keep. Today, we are going to understand exactly why the most powerful thing you can do for everything you are trying to build is to move in complete silence until there is nothing left to say except, "Look what I built." Here is the psychology behind why silence protects your power. In 2011, a researcher named Peter Gollwitzer conducted a study that changed how psychologists think about goal achievement. He discovered something counterintuitive. People who announced their goals to others were significantly less likely to achieve them than people who kept their goals private. Not slightly less likely, significantly. And the reason was this. When you tell someone your goal, when you describe the plan, paint the vision, explain what you are going to do, your brain receives a hit of social recognition before you have done anything. The attention, the acknowledgement, the response. Your brain cannot tell the difference between the recognition of having done something and the recognition of planning to do something. Both feel like reward. Both release dopamine. Both satisfy the same need for acknowledgement. So your brain, efficient, lazy, always looking for the shortcut, takes the recognition it received from announcing the goal and partially files the goal as already done. The drive weakens. The urgency dissolves. The hunger that was pushing you toward action is partially satisfied by the conversation you just had. This is called substitution. The announcement substitutes for the achievement, and you are left with a goal that feels slightly less necessary to pursue simply because you talked about it. This is why you feel motivated when you first announce something, and then somehow that motivation quietly disappears before you have done anything real. It was not lack of discipline. It was not lack of desire. It was your brain taking its reward early and leaving you with less fuel for the actual work. Here is what happens when you stop telling people. The energy that was going into explaining your vision goes back into building it. The time that was going into describing your plans goes back into executing them. The focus that was being distributed across every person you told contracts back into a single point. You and the work and nothing else. This is not isolation. This is concentration. And concentrated energy applied consistently to a single direction is the most powerful force for change that exists. Think about the people who have impacted the world most deeply. They did not spend years announcing their intention to change things. They changed things. And then the world found out. The product launched before anyone knew it was being built. The book was written before anyone knew it was being written. The transformation happened before anyone knew it had begun. The announcement came after, because the work came first. This is the pattern of every person who has ever built something real. Move first. Speak later. Now let me tell you about the second reason you should never share your next move. And this one is harder to hear. Not everyone who listens to your plans is happy about them. Some of the people closest to you, people who genuinely care about you, people who love you, will respond to your ambitions with something that feels like concern but functions like doubt. They will ask questions that plant seeds of uncertainty. They will point out all the reasons it might not work. They will remind you of the last time you tried something and how that went. They will not do this to hurt you. They will do this because your ambition is a mirror held up to their own unlived potential. And that mirror is uncomfortable. So they try to lower it, not out of malice, out of their own fear. But the effect is the same. You walk into that conversation with a fire. You walk out of it with doubt. And doubt, even a small amount, changes how you move. It makes you hesitate where you should be decisive. It makes you second guess where you should be certain. It introduces a crack in the foundation of something that had no cracks before you opened your mouth. The solution is not to stop trusting people. The solution is to stop giving people the opportunity to influence something before it is strong enough to withstand their influence. Build it first. Strengthen it first. Make it real first. And then, when it exists, when it is undeniable, when it speaks for itself, share it. Because a finished thing does not need anyone's belief to survive. Only an unfinished thing can be destroyed by doubt. Here is the third reason silence is your greatest strategy. Silence creates mystery, and mystery commands attention. The person who tells everyone everything becomes predictable, known, mapped, understood. There is no reason to watch them because you already know what is coming. The person who moves quietly becomes fascinating, unknown, unmapped, impossible to predict. Everyone watches them because nobody knows what is coming next. This is not manipulation. This is simply understanding how attention works. Attention follows the unknown. The most watched people in any room are almost never the most vocal. They are the most mysterious. They speak rarely. They share selectively. They reveal almost nothing about what they are working on. And the silence around their plans creates a gravity. People are drawn to them, not because of what they have said, but because of everything they have not. This is your competitive advantage. In a world where everyone is broadcasting everything, every goal, every plan, every step of every journey before any of it is real. The person who moves in silence stands out simply by choosing not to announce. Your silence is loud by. Use it. Here is what moving in silence actually looks like in practice. It does not mean becoming secretive or cold. It does not mean refusing to connect with people. It does not mean building walls around your life. It means this. When you have a new goal, you do not post about it. You start working on it. When you have a new plan, you do not describe it to everyone around you. You begin executing it. When someone asks what you are working on, you smile and say, "You will see." Not to be mysterious for the sake of it, but because the work is not ready to be seen yet. And things that are not ready should not be exposed to the weight of other people's opinions. You protect the seed until it is a tree, because a seed can be destroyed by a single hand. A tree cannot. Move in silence. Build in private. Appear with results. And let the distance between where you were and where you arrived be the only announcement you ever needed to make. The most powerful statement you will ever make is not something you say. It is something you become. Quietly. Deliberately. Without permission. Without announcement. Without anyone seeing it coming. Until it is already done. Subscribe to Lucid Dominance. New video every Tuesday and Friday. I will see you in the next one.